Gold is nearly all-time high. Is it going to have a breakout, create a new all-time high, and then go even higher? Or is it a formation of a kind of double top, a possible bull trap? There are a few scenarios that we must go through before we start our week next week with gold and possibly the next month on gold. Okay, so here are the scenarios and the levels that we are going to look at in the coming days and coming weeks. Stay tuned. Right, let's look at gold on higher time frame first, right? And as always, if you have not seen my previous analysis, please go through that because this is kind of extension of their previous analysis. This is more of an update. If I show you the monthly time frame, what has happened here is that market has created this multi-decade pattern here. And because of this pattern, there was an FCP zone which could act as a resistance. So what market did, market came right into this zone and started to have a little bit of correction. In my previous video, I alerted about all of this and I gave you few levels and few zones. Premium analysis clients had finer levels and finer zones and better scenarios, but majority was covered in the free analysis as well. So if you have not watched that analysis, please go and check it out. So because of this FCP zone, the market started to a bit of pause. The market has been very bullish and it had a little pause here. It started to consolidate here. Sorry. Now, if I go to the weekly time frame here, you can read this price section, which has been happening for last few weeks as like, consolidation or a kind of ranging. So you can say that, okay, the market is kind of in a range at the moment after a huge bullish move. Okay, so you can treat that as a flag, or you can say, okay, yeah, this is a kind of like, this sort of thing. Okay. Now, whatever you say that, but the truth of the matter is that market is right now in the middle of these two levels here, and that's why we call it as a range at the moment. So it remains to be seen whether actually market breaks through this range and continues for a breakout, or it continues to fall down below this to have like, bigger correction. Let's see. Okay, before we go there, let me walk you through better scenarios, like, better levels here into a smaller time frame. So if I go to daily time frame here, if you remember, right, in the previous analysis, I showed you that, the market was going for a correction and it did. Okay. And then if you're following my analysis on and post on Twitter, there is a huge Twitter thread that I've been running since this particular point. Okay. And in there, I've been posting about like, most of my updates, most of my trades as well. So here, I gave you this possibility in the last video that, we had this huge trend line. And because of this trend line and because of this M pattern, as you can see, we have this M pattern here. Okay. Because of this M pattern, the market was supposed to go up and started to go up. And this M pattern turned into a bigger W pattern. Okay, this is how these patterns work. Okay, so now why the market has come to this level here, why it has come here, because this is all-time high, and there was a very specific reason for the market to come here and reach this particular price point. And that reason, I'll show you that in a second. And I gave you all of that in the last video. Okay, so the market has been pushing higher. As you can see, this move is kind of overextended move. The market was creating a little bit of correction, then it got pushed up, correction got pushed up, correction got pushed up. So this is being done by big boys, right? The market makers, whatever you call them, on purpose because they wanted to reach a certain level. And if you look at the current structure at the moment, we are kind of like, creating a double top at the moment. Now, I'm not a very good believer, or I'm not a very strong believer in double tops because double tops can also become like, bull traps or bear traps. What I can expect is that, we are at a very crucial level because from here, the market can give us a very good breakout to the upside. Or what can happen is the market may go slightly higher and then come back down. Why is that a possibility? Is a possibility because the market has already created a W pattern, which so far has not been able to push the price down. And an extended version of W pattern is where the market can actually do something like this. So there are three scenarios which I'm looking at, right? I'll be waiting for further confirmation, further evidences, especially on higher time frames. So one is that because the market is right there and it has been able to come and like complete that reason, right? The reason why the market has come here, that has been completed. Market can just start to correct from here. Okay, and this thing is not helping. This may get cleared, at least part of it may get cleared. Okay, so that is one scenario. Other scenario is that market may go slightly higher to create a bigger extended W pattern and then come back down. So that's another scenario that we have got. Third scenario is that this fails and we get a strong momentum and some kind of like pullback, and then we get a proper breakout to the upside. So we need to be very, very careful, and we need to look for proper evidences around this area before we can make our mind. Okay. Now let me show you what was that reason and what were the levels that I gave you. These levels have not been updated. These were present in the previous video, which I posted approximately a month ago. And I've been posting about this on Twitter thread if you have been following me there. If you're not following me there, please do so because I post several things there, especially in day trade and short-term trades. What we see here, let me just quickly take a better color here. What we can see here is that market was creating an M pattern and it came right into this trend line and this level here. And because of this, the market continued to go up. Now, we need to read one level and one zone at a time. It came into this zone, had a little correction, went deeper into this zone, had a little correction, went into this trend line, had a correction, went to the zone, had a correction, went higher, had a little correction here, and then it came right into this area. This is the reason I was talking about. There is a gap available. There was a gap available. Now that gap has been filled. So the price has actually come back here to close that gap. If you have been following my analysis for a while, then you know that how we look at the gaps. Now gaps may or may not get filled easily, but gold has this tendency to come and close these gaps up. However, having said that, in the past few months, I've been surprised that gold has been filling all the bullish gaps, like pretty much like this one, and it has not been actually filling any of the bearish gaps. And there are several bearish gaps which have been left over. So at some point in time, I'm expecting that gold may have a huge correction filling all those bearish gaps as well. That is just one of the possibility. Okay. So the market came right into this and closed this gap. Now this reason is over. So as I said, like according to those scenarios, if the market continues to go down from here, then this can act as support, this can act as support, and if the market continues to fall, then it can continue and then it can act as resistance. So we read one level at a time, pretty much like how we were doing here, right? Acting as resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay. So these levels and these zones are very important. Now, other scenario is that if the market continues to go up, then one of these levels here, approximately, there can be slight differences of a couple of dollars here and there, but the market may form a bigger W pattern and then can come down. And if it comes down, then again we must read one level at a time because all of these levels may act as support. Now, on higher time frame, a bigger time frame and bigger possibility can be something like this. Let me walk you through some of these WNM patterns just for educational purposes here. So we can see that we have this M pattern. This is an M pattern here, which became a W pattern. Okay, and if it falls from here, or if it comes like slightly above and falls from there, we will still have something like this. If the market continues to fall and if it breaks this midpoint, then what will happen? It will come and create a bigger M pattern like this. Okay. So that is the magic of these WNM patterns because like you can have multiple structures within the structures which can actually guide you, which can actually tell you about like the possible scenarios which can play out in future. And all you have to do is just find these levels from where the corrections can come, which can act as support, which can act as resistance, from where the breakout can come from. And then you basically trade from these levels and manage your risk. Most of these levels, like the better levels, are available in our premium analysis report on Gold. If you are interested in ordering that report, you can find a link or you can find our contact information in the description of this video. So what I'm expecting personally is that I'm very, very careful around this. I knew that, this was going to get filled at some point in time. So I'm expecting that, okay, once this has been filled on higher time frame, if I see that market is supposed to fall, even on smaller time frame, if I see that, the market is giving me a correction, or some kind of like, evidence that market is supposed to fall, then I'll take a short trade from here. And above this, I'll take a long, or I will not actually hold that long position for a long period of time, because all of this can be, these areas can be areas of bull trap. The market may go above, the media and everybody will think that, gold is creating all-time high and it's going to continue to whatever price that they quote. However, the market may go slightly above and come back down. So I will be very, very careful in trading gold for a long position in around this area for swing trade. On short term, like, on daily time frame, I can, like, take longs and shorts, whatever, like, around these levels, that's fine. But on a swing trade, on higher time frame, what can happen is that market can create a bull trap around this area, double top around this area. So I'll be very, very careful, and I'll be watching higher time frames such as daily time frame or weekly time frame. Now we have 1 week left in the month of Jan. This is going to be very, very important. So this month and this weekend and the new month's opening is going to be very important for gold, because we will have, like, some of these things, some of these areas going to be get played out. So I'm going to be very, very careful around here personally. And based on that, I will prepare my trading plan, and I'll share some of those, like, if possible, on social media. I'm taking a little break at the moment. I've been on a little break working on something else, but if possible, then I'll try to share as much as possible. So this is my analysis on gold XAUUSD. Hope you enjoyed this analysis and found this useful. If you have any questions, any feedback, I'm looking forward to your comments and below this video, and share it with other traders and trading communities, because they can also uh, get some help from this video and from this analysis. I'll see you in the next one, and have a great trading week. All the best for your trading. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.